Hey y'all, it's Nisha, the Soul Magi, and I'm back again with another video. I wanted to tap in today and do a quick story time about why I quit working in community mental health. A lot of people, as I've been back and reconnecting and connecting with new people, I get, why did you quit working as a therapist? As if working as a telehealth therapist means I'm not still a therapist. Y'all are so funny. So I know there was a lot of confusion, especially like if you didn't follow me super closely. It was kind of like, damn, she don't work no more. She out the country. Wrong. Um, so as you guys know, I have worked in mental health, like behavioral health, since I started working. I kind of always knew this is what I was going to do. I only strayed off the path just a tiny bit because I definitely thought I'd be working in different environments. I definitely saw myself more as like working in a federal prison, closer to like doing psychologist work, right? And then life got to life, and I wanted something different. But anywho, I worked in that setting for those lots of different settings for a really long time. And I've always loved community mental health because I love nothing more than watching and helping people who look like me heal through X, Y, and Z. So, how did I get to a point where I decided I wanted to quit? With age comes wisdom. No, I'm just playing. What really was going on is I had finally gotten licensed, and I was like, yes, oh my God, I'm finally gonna get paid what I'm worth for doing what I've been doing for years. Like, what could go wrong? And I want to say I had been working in private with the same private practice for about 2 years, part-time, very part-time, loved it. They are so chill to work for. But I had a day job, right? Like most people in DC do. You grind it. So I had switched from one community agency with licensure to another, and I wanted to start working with kids. I absolutely love teaching Black and brown students, and just youth, not even students, but youth, how to heal themselves, how to implement regimens that they haven't, maybe come across before. That was so big for me. So when I got the opportunity to work in a high school, I was like, this the one. Now, I worked at a high school in DC, and it was it was an experience. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It was an experience that taught me a lot about myself, and how I operate in this world, in this lifetime. So it was really like conflicting on how I decided to quit, is because like on the one hand, this was probably one of the best jobs I've ever had. Schedule wise, I worked with an amazing population. Of course, it wasn't easy, because of the school I worked at. But even that, still top tier, like top 5 of my favorite like positions that I've held. So, it was really good. But what I didn't value was like I worked for an agency that prides themselves on working in low income, predominantly like Black and brown neighborhoods. And I wouldn't even say that all leadership was white, because that's the reason why I chose this agency, because it wasn't. But they didn't have a lot of awareness into what the program needs. So it became more about what you can produce and for their grants to keep going, rather than meeting the needs of what's really going on in the neighborhood, what's really going on in the schools. And that just didn't sit right with my spirit. So while they had people like it took so long for them to implement change and listening to like what we were saying as clinicians, because like at this particular agency, we were heavy in the Hispanic community and heavy in the Black community, and we only had like a few clinicians of color, and they would put us in specific neighborhoods, and I didn't mind because I knew who I wanted to work with. I didn't want to work with, I had a preference, and I was very happy in my placement. It felt like home. It felt aligned. Ain't no work gonna feel like home. But so that being said, I really, really loved that part. And then so I was just like, I love this, but they would overwork and underpay clinicians. Now, I definitely got paid what I was worth in this position. Definitely could have been more though. But also, we would have supervisors and things who just didn't have a common grasp of like what the actual needs were. And I'm all about educating, but some things you have to be able to educate yourself about, because like unless you're paying me, there's only a certain amount of education you're going to get, because I don't work for free and the salary isn't enough. This is additional, so there was that. So definitely like the disparities in pay, but also like just the treatment of Black clinicians as well. And I'm big on like burnout and making sure that you're working for life and not having life work against you. So, and as I always tell the clients that I coach, when it comes to working and burnout, if you're in a relationship with work and work is providing circumstances or like equating circumstances in you that you wouldn't accept from a partner, it's time for you to reevaluate what you really want out of that relationship. I don't see work or romantic in any different way when it comes to that aspect, because if you're accepting something from your job like belittlement, being overworked, not being proper, not having your needs met, whether that be pay, whether that be respect or what have you, you're in an abusive relationship, or you're in an unaligned one, whatever you want to call it, baby. I'm not your therapist, so whatever fits for you fits. But for me, if there's any like discrepancy as of that, then that was a chance to reevaluate. So I had reevaluated, and they ain't make the cut. They just didn't. By the time it was time for me to leave, they were implementing like new things, but I had been saying it for so long, the relationship was over. And so I had decided that work was taking from me in aspects more than what I was willing to give. And so it was no longer a reason for me to keep working in that space. It was like I was in a heavy graduation mode. It was like, this doesn't align with who I am anymore, because I just started to see changes in myself. And then also like the deep political racism that comes when you're working in like Hispanic schools or predominantly Black schools, and it was just agency wide. I just wasn't fucking with it no more. So to switch places with them, I got my stuff and I left. I'm just playing, but yeah, that was it for me. I had planned to stay there for a specific amount of time. Like I had planned to renew at least 2 contracts. And then I was going to go on my Eat, Pray, Love. I was like, when I hit 30, I'm going to make this work. But it was like, my spirit was saying, don't wait till 30. Now is the time. And I had already had my private practice clientele set up. And of course, it was like a risky decision to make. To leave one solid, salary for, private practice. But I can't really think of anything that was more aligned. I saw myself like in a version of life that I wouldn't be in. And honestly, I would never put up with that from a partner. That's really why the job had to go, because it couldn't be no way that I would be in a relationship with a man and I done told you something and you took this long to change. Baby, I'm in a relationship with somebody else now. Bye. That's how I felt about the job. So, I don't know how it aligned, but I ended up getting sick. I remember we took winter break and I was like, how am I going to make this work? I'm just going to wait to the end of the school year. We took winter break and I ended up actually taking the whole month of January off. I had got the Rona. Somebody gave me the Rona. I probably got it from but after the holidays I was real sick, and then school had shut down. We had some school incidents. There was like some gun violence that had happened, and so the school had been shut down for like a while. And then February comes, March comes, and all of a sudden there's just space in my calendar. Like I went to go take some time off, and then like I ended up getting approved for leave. And by the time I knew it, that apartment was packed up, and my one-way ticket to India was booked to eat, pray, and love. And it really gave me a chance to reconnect with my divine feminine. Although like everyone around me was saying your light is so bright and you bring so much like softness into it, I felt like I was losing my own softness being in that kind of work relationship environment, especially with all the internal and systematic racism that was like deeply embedded in not only the supervision at the youth center and the company, but like it felt like I was further and further away from that. And I remember as I was on the flight, I just remember feeling a release. Like my hips felt looser, my ankles felt looser, my jaw was in a sense. I felt like I was reconnected with my divine feminine. Like I was reconnected with me, the softness of me, right? Like, I don't know, I left Southeast and it was just alignment from there on. I was like, this is it. This is me back at my normal state. Because sometimes operating in that and consistently having to defend yourself or your clients is, I think it takes for me, it took a toll on things. And I just felt that instant release. Like from the moment I even booked the ticket, and I had booked it last minute. But yeah, my FMLA got approved and I was out. And that's really what it is. So now people are like, what are you doing? What I want. No, I'm just playing, but no, for real, for real. Now I still see clients remote from wherever I am. So I might see people in Atlanta while I'm in Atlanta, and I also might see clients while I'm in Thailand and while I'm in India. Um, and it's put such a quality on my life. Like, it feels so purposeful, it feels so restful. It feels like a soft hug when I wake up for work in the morning. Not when I get enough sleep, but most days it feels like a soft hug. Like, oh, I get to do what I love doing. And so that is why I quit. What they gave me in pay and what it took from my spirit wasn't worth it for me. And it won't be. So I chose not to do that no more. And the Soul Magi was born. She was created and she just been thriving. So that is my story, as long-winded as it was. I'll be back on here for more story times, but now that you know how she was created and what she was created from, yeah, it felt better for my soul to be on this path of consistently learning about new wellness tips and traveling all over the world. I feel like my soul is forever alive and excited about each day, even when I don't have anything planned. So if you're here and you've made it through this video, don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Because some of y'all be watching and not liking. And I'm just saying that's really ashy behavior. And I want better for y'all. Don't be stingy with your likes. I love you. Peace and blessings. I'll see y'all soon.